From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE with big exciting details about your fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check coming in the month of July all the way to the end of this year. In this recording, we're going to go over what the president is going to say and not going to say in less than 2 hours, just a few hours from now, about the fourth stimulus package. Then we cut to the fifth stimulus package. The president will also be talking about the fifth stimulus package tonight, but I'll explain what he won't and will talk about it, and I'll cover the incredible SSI reform that's coming in the fifth stimulus package. It's the raising of your benefits across the board for a lot more money starting the end of this year. Also, for the first time in a couple weeks, I'm going to go over some of the big money under the third stimulus that viewers have been asking coming in a few weeks. Some people have been asking, when am I getting my $10,200 check? They've been asking, when am I getting my $3,600 check for the children? And other people have been asking, when am I getting the $1,700 check as a college student? I'll be explaining if you're getting a check or if it's something else. I have all these incredible details on a big afternoon's broadcast, and I have details about our special live coverage tonight of the president's address coming up in this recording. This is a big afternoon's broadcast of Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How are you? It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LA. And this is a big broadcast now. After this, in 2 hours from now, is Evenings LA. And then after Evenings LA, 60 minutes, actually almost 30 minutes after Evenings LA, is a special live coverage of the president's congressional address. I'll be delivering that live broadcast after Evenings LA, 30 minutes after Evenings LA, and before Sirloin and Javita LA tonight on LA Late Night. So if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. I don't want to miss any of these breaking, developing details. And I have breaking news in this recording as well. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Members got the details of what's in the fifth stimulus package this morning. Just as it hit, before anyone in broadcast media had it, I had it for you. And the members were delivered the fifth stimulus items the minute it broke. I'll be going over them in this recording. All right, let's go over procedurally and substantively what's going to be happening tonight for fourth and fifth stimulus. Let me explain what's going on. The president will address both houses of Congress during what looks like a State of the Union address. It's not State of the Union because that's the term used after the first year in office. This is his first 100 days in office, so it's called a congressional address. During this congressional address, he will talk about fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus together. Why both? Because he does not have a congressional address until next year. And by that point, we'll be on to sixth stimulus. So fourth and fifth are being done this year. This is his only opportunity to talk about them. Then let me go over what is fourth stimulus and what is fifth stimulus. Fourth stimulus is the monthly stimulus check starting the month of July through the end of the year. It will be called by the president the American Jobs Plan, but it's also been referred to as the American Infrastructure Plan and also the Recovery Act. The fifth stimulus this fall will be addressed by the president tonight as well. That he will refer to as the American Family Plan. It's also been referred to as the Teachers Act or the Second Recovery Act. It's going to actually be extensively about teachers, schools, and education. So that's why it originally was called the Teachers Act. Now it's taking the name of the Family Plan. All right. Now, this next thing I want to tell you is singularly the most important thing you're going to have to know for today. And it's so critical you understand this. The President of the United States is head of the executive branch. He's not a legislator. He's not in Congress. So he doesn't write bills. He has addresses, speeches, where he says, I propose this and I propose that. He's going to make proposals tonight. He's not going to introduce a bill. There won't be a bill. During his discussion of fourth stimulus, he is not going to mention stimulus checks because he's not putting the stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. The congressional leaders are, and I'm going to go over who they are in just a second. The House members and the Senate members are putting the stimulus checks in there. You're not going to hear the president mention stimulus checks. Second, the fifth stimulus package, he is not going to talk about SSI or SSDI reform. He's not putting it in there. The congressional leaders are. So I want you to understand what you're not going to hear in tonight's broadcast, but what is going to be happening. Now that you're up to date, let me also touch on breaking developing details about third stimulus, which is now delivering more money. Another wave of third stimulus checks went out today. Congratulations. But I want to clarify one big subject matter that I see in some of the comments about third stimulus. I've been seeing people say, when am I getting my $10,200 check for unemployment in May? When am I getting my $1,700 check for college students? And when am I getting my $3,600 for my child? Here is what I want you to know. The comments have been made by people who are not members and not subscribers. So I think they're people who came from other places. I want you to know the following. Number one, you are categorically not getting a $1,700 check from the federal government as a college student just because you exist. It's not a stimulus check. You have to reach out to your financial advisor to inquire about how to get the $1,700 and apply for it. It is not a stimulus check where you sit back and they just send you $1,700 for a college student. That's the first one. The second one, for the children, $3,600 if they're 17 to 6, if they are 5 to newborn, or $3,000 if they're 17 to 6. You don't have to do anything if you have filed tax returns in the last 2 cycles and have declared that child as your dependent, and the IRS knows that child exists. If you have not, and the IRS does not know that child exists, you're not getting a check. They need to know the child exists. So reach out to your tax preparer to prepare for that accordingly. Finally, the biggest one is this $10,200. You are categorically not getting a $10,200 check just because you're sitting around and just because you haven't filed a tax return because you were on unemployment. That is not what the law says. And I've seen other channels spew this falsehoods. It's absolutely untrue. Let me explain what the $10,200 really is. It only applies to one group of people who filed 2020 tax returns and paid money on their unemployment for their first $10,200 and paid taxes on it. They will get a refund on the amount of money they paid taxes on that $10,200. Those are the only people. So if you never filed a tax return, you're not getting any money. That's the first one. Second, you're not getting exactly $10,200. It's the money you paid taxes on for that $10,200. So remember, the first $10,200 is tax-free. Let's say you paid $45 of taxes on that $10,200. You're getting a refund of $45. You're not getting a refund of $10,200. That's not what the law said. And I'm hearing people saying, you're getting a check of $10,000 in the mail in May. It is so wrong, and I'm sorry that people are broadcasting that on YouTube. It is categorically wrong, and if you see that, tell them. So now let's cut to the incredible big news about fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus comes from House members and senators who are Democrats who are going to put it in when the fourth stimulus starts reconciliation in the next month. The reconciliation process will give a stimulus check. The eligibility for the fourth stimulus check, the monthly check, is the same among House and senators. This is who they wanted to give the stimulus checks to. Everyone who got a third stimulus check. And that is you. If you make less than $75,000, it's you. If you're a household of 4 or less, this is you. If you're on SSI or SSDI, this is you. How many checks are they going to give you? Let's compare. The House members want to give you a check every month through the rest of the pandemic plus 1 year. The senators want to give you a stimulus check for the remainder of this year. Slightly different. The House members want you to have $2,000 the first month and $1,000 thereafter. The senators, the amount is unknown. But word on the street is this is how much the senators want to pay you. $2,000 a month or $12,000 for a single individual, or $1,400 a month, which over 6 months is $8,400. Here's what you need to know about that money. Yes, this is you. If there's 2 people in the household, then 2 checks. Married couple, double this amount. 4 people in the household, 4 times this check. If you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or Railroad Benefits, this is you. So this is accompanying to you. Some of the questions I've gotten are, is this taxable? No. Does this disqualify you from benefits? No. When would the check start? Month of July. What's the first month it would pay? The month of July. When would the vote be? Month of July. Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi confirmed that the vote will be July 4th. How often is the checks coming? Every month. Are they coming in waves? No, they can't come in waves because they got to go out every month. Who's going to put this in there? I didn't hear the president talk about it. The president's not going to talk about it. This is going to be put in by the House members and the Senate and the senators. Is Mitch McConnell going to block it? He can't. He no longer has control over the Senate. I've gotten that question as well. Who is behind this? Who will guide this ship? Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi. They are head of the 2 branches, and they will be pushing this to the finish line. And with that, let me go over the details. The bill will go a 2-step process. Step 1 will be a reconciliation procedural bill only. Goes to the House floor, vote. Goes to the Senate floor, vote. To the president to sign. Then that tow truck is passed over the finish line. The tow truck goes back to pick up the tow hitch. It's the substantive part. At that point, the president puts all the president has proposed will go onto the tow hitch. The president proposes tonight roads, climate, water, that goes on the tow hitch. But the House members at that point can put in those monthly stimulus checks. They don't have to. They can put them in there. If they put them in there, it helps the process because it smooths it out. Remember, the senators have final say because they could still modify it. But if the House members don't put it in there, don't worry, because the senators put it in there. They put it in there during the 2-day event when they get to the vote-a-rama in the Senate. When will we actually see the amount that the senators want to have? At the very last minute, in literally the last 48 hours before it comes law. That's when the vote-a-rama is, the last 48 hours. Signed into law, away we go. That is for stimulus. That is the monthly stimulus check. That is if you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security and Railroad Benefits. That is you. All right, so that's for stimulus. So now we turn to 5th stimulus. 5th stimulus is in September. And 5th stimulus will go by reconciliation, will take 2 months, and will be done by around November. People have been starting to ask, and I know what's kicking in. People have spent that 3rd stimulus check, and they need another stimulus check. So they've been saying, they don't care. They're taking their time. These congressmen are going too slow. If they worked harder, we can do a reconciliation just a week. No, you can't. Reconciliation is a congressional rule that follows congressional procedures. And those congressional procedures for doing not 1, but 2 bills each time, remember, first the tow truck and then the tow hitch, it's 2 bills, takes 2 months. There is no faster way to do it. The only thing that's faster in a recon is less attempts at bipartisan support. So the president could have started recon earlier. But the whole recon process is always 2 months. So there is no way around that. When we get to 5th stimulus in the fall, the new session of Congress starts. Leader Schumer has an extra recon. I haven't gone over how many recons Schumer has in his back pocket. I have a graphic for that. I don't want to bore you because it's sort of boring. So I just want to deal with the substance. SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad Benefits reform will be put in there by those senators and those House members. And they will put it in there when the President's Families Act gets to them in the fall. Remember, tonight the President of the United States will address the 5th stimulus, also called the American Family Plan. He will not mention SSI reform. The Democrats are putting it in there. So now let me go over all the details of what it is. They're going to increase your benefit limits, increase your asset limits, add the inflationary benchmark, then remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let me explain this easy breezy for you. First, they're going to increase your benefits. So everyone's benefits would be increased. I've had people say I'm on 2 types of benefits. They both increase. All your benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, would be increased to a new number. Then what they would do is they tie your number to inflation. The federal chair, Jerome Powell, is speaking today and is going to say that inflationary rates are going to stay the same, 2 to 4% over the next few years. That's great news because that means your benefits will increase 2 to 4% over the next few years. Then they're removing the asset cap dating back to 1984 that says for some of you can't keep more than $3,000 on hand, getting rid of that law. Then they're removing the income cap dating back to 1962 that says you can't work and stay on benefits. They're getting rid of that one, allowing you to work $1,000 or $2,000 a month and keep that money, $11,000, $12,000, $24,000 a year, keep it and still stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty. If you know what it is, they're getting rid of the marriage penalty. If you don't have it, you don't know. If you don't know what it is, then you probably don't have it. Now, I've gotten some questions about this SSI reform. People have asked me, well, if they modify that, is that going to hurt this other thing that I get? No. I for some reason, I always get questions where people presume that one thing helping someone is going to hurt something else that they have. No. So it is not going to hurt your SNAP. It's not going to hurt your rent. It's not going to hurt your mortgage. I've heard all these type of questions. It's going to hurt something else. It's going to trigger another thing that I'm going to be over a cap. No, that's the concept of a reform. They know the system better than you do and I do. They know all these caps and all these rules, and they're reforming the entire system. We're working off of a 4-page letter that was incredibly detailed that showed all these elements which I just described to you. When they go to write this, it's not going to be a 4-page letter. It's going to be a 4,000-page bill. So they're going to have a lot of stuff they're going to modify. This is going to help you. And all the help that I'm explaining to you here is not going to hurt something else. All right, so that's fifth stimulus. That is in the fifth stimulus package this fall. People could ask me when and how soon. And some people have also said to me, they should have put SSI reform under fourth stimulus. I agree. They should have put it under third stimulus. But there's no reason to dwell on that negativity. There's no reason to dwell on the fact that it wasn't done on a third, it wasn't done on a fourth, it's going on a fifth. Let's just get it done. Let's just get it done. The congressional leaders, House and senators, have written the letter saying, we're going to do it in the fifth. So away we go to fifth. Now, when would you physically see the impact on your bottom line? The end of this year, around November, because it takes 2 months to do this process. And that two-month process for recon goes right to the finish line. Earlier today, there were quotes from the president, and we're going to see them tonight about fifth stimulus. He's going to say, I'm going to reach out and try to get bipartisan support. But there are quotes off the record today from Politico that says the president is not going to take no money as an option from the Republicans for purpose of fifth stimulus. And if they don't give him money, he's going to do recon. So everyone knows fifth stimulus is recon. And if it was not obvious yet in this recording that fifth stimulus will go by recon, let me show you why right now. The fifth stimulus package, I had been showing you this graphic over the last few days. You saw this graphic before. Third stimulus law, $2 trillion. Fourth stimulus proposal, $3 trillion. And fifth stimulus September, $1 trillion. Not true, says a new report today. The new report says that the fifth stimulus to be debuted tonight will be $2 trillion, literally 1.8 or 1.9 trillion, which is 2. Fourth stimulus reportedly may not even be 3. It may be pushing upwards of 4 trillion. And finally, third stimulus is laws. So you could see 2, 4, and 2, which is a lot. 2, 4, and 2, which is $8 trillion. If you're not using Larry Kudlow's calculator, $8 trillion being spent by this president between January and September. Wow. It's just, that's going by recon. That's going by recon. Wow, we're already at the 19-minute mark. Well, coming up after this commercial break, I'll have more about what's coming up tonight in that presidential address. And I'll give you a preview of what's coming up tonight on Evenings LA. Wow, Evenings LA tonight is a jaw-dropper of a show. You don't want to miss that. But you also don't want to miss what's coming up after this commercial break. I have big, great news for you. You're going to be excited. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues tonight on Evenings LALATE. Here's our special programming schedule tonight. Evenings LALATE returns in about an hour and a half from now at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But for tonight only, there will be a special broadcast after Evenings LALATE at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be carrying the President's live congressional address. That's at 9 p.m. after Evenings LALATE and before LA Late Night. Finally, LA Late Night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a humor-only broadcast, so if you don't like humor, then don't tune in. Don't tune in. We'll just laugh about something else. I always have someone that tunes and says, why is there humor? Because it's a humor broadcast. How are you? The toast is toasting? No, the toast ain't toasting, but it's going to be toasting tonight. It's supposed to be very hot here in Los Angeles. It's supposed to be 88 degrees tonight here in just a few minutes. So, oh boy, I'm ready for it. The window's open. How are you? If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Here's a personal message I want to send to you. Today, we reached 395,000 subscribers. 1 year and about 2 days into our second year. I really, really thank you from the deepness of my heart. Very, very honored for you to be a subscriber. Please watch Mornings LALATE. It was one of the original shows this channel, and I know a lot of you are back to work or running around because you're now vaccinated and you're watching afternoons and evenings LALATE shows. I don't want you to miss Mornings LALATE because sometimes I don't repeat the messages for mornings. It's one of the original shows that has a lot of big, important breaking details. So if you missed it because you're not available to watch it when it originally airs, watch it later in the day. And with that, also make sure you like these videos. The competition is heating up for forced stimulus as people have left the universe of doggy coin and crypto coverage and are coming back to stimulus coverage. And now they're trying to compete with moi. So your likes really help. All right, let me get to the surprising developing details which are happening tonight. Tonight, the President of the United States, when he debuts fourth and fifth stimulus, he will tell the American people what he's going to use to pay for fifth stimulus. And he's also going to detail what is in the fifth stimulus package. If you tune into Evenings LA tonight, I'm going to go line after line about what is actually in the fifth stimulus package. Here's what I want you to know, is that the fifth stimulus package does not so far have another round of stimulus checks for obvious reasons. Because as of September, you would already be getting monthly stimulus checks under the fourth stimulus package. That's the first thing. Second, the fifth stimulus package makes no mention yet of the extension of any of the first stimulus package items. So if you think that rent, mortgage assistance, utilities, or PUA, FPUC, PEUC need to be extended on either the 4th or the 5th, certainly make that message clear to your congressional leaders, because it's not in the 4th and it's not so far in the 5th. The 5th stimulus package, I also want to make very clear to you that while I will use the terminology 5th stimulus going forward, it's not per se particularly an economic recovery package. It's more a package to provide changes to how we run this economy over the next couple decades. So it's not something that is short term, it's more long term. How will 5th stimulus package be paid for? How will 4th stimulus package be paid for? As of the time of this broadcast, we have still not seen from the White House how 4th stimulus will be paid for. My guess, but I'm only guessing, is that the president's going to announce tonight, just for 4th stimulus, a change to the corporate tax code, for the corporate tax rate, raising it to a percentage higher than where it currently is. But for 5th stimulus, we do know how he's going to pay for 5th stimulus. 5th stimulus, he's going to raise the individual personal tax rate on the high end from 37% to 39.6%. Not particularly big difference. This is what I don't like about it, is that he's going to raise it for married couples who make $600,000. Well, that's not fair. During his run for president, he said if a person makes $400,000 or less, he would not touch your taxes. Well, a husband and wife that both make $400,000, he's touching your taxes. He's raising your tax rate from 37 to 39.6. He also said he would not touch it if you make less than $40,000. Well, on the capital gains, he is. He's touching the capital gains taxes to 39.6% if you make more than $1 million as a household. Now, household can be up to 4 people sometimes. Household is certainly husband and wife. So that's not particularly consistent with the message that he wasn't touching it if you singularly make over $1 million. Now it's the household over $1 million, meaning more people could have a lower threshold and still trigger this higher item. With that, yesterday, a series of corporate earnings did come in. I've been watching them for you. It's very important for purpose of 4th stimulus. Those corporate earnings came in yesterday, and they came in from Alphabet, Microsoft, and Starbucks. Here's what you need to know for purposes of 4th stimulus. They were not particularly out of the ballpark numbers that people thought that there's incredible growth of recovery and that we need to be worried the economy will be fully rebounding by July. They were very strong numbers, but it did not show a rate of growth too strong that we need to worry that the economy will be rebounding fully by July. Second, there's more corporate earnings coming later this week, and the analyst reports now in advance of those corporate earnings, like which is actually after the time of this recording. Later tonight, Boeing will report, Apple, Ford, and Facebook will be reporting later after this recording. And then also reporting Friday will be Colgate, Exxon, Clorox. Those reports reportedly will not signal growth of anything we need to worry about. And finally, Amazon. Thursday, Amazon will report earnings, but you know what Thursday also is? It is also the unemployment numbers. Those unemployment numbers are so critical, and they're critical in the context of what happened today with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, met today, and he's going to meet tomorrow, and their message is the same. We're not changing our position. We're continuing to support this economy because jobs are not restored. Here's what you need to know, is that even though tomorrow's job numbers may show the same growth rate of improvement and may still show 8 million jobs missing, 16 million Americans unemployed, the Federal Reserve reportedly will start to pull back on its support of this economy in its next meeting in a few weeks, because at that point they think that we're going to start to accelerate. Here's what you need to know. We always need to watch this economic data. We need to watch these jobs numbers tomorrow morning on this channel. I'll have them on Mornings LA. We need to watch the long-term jobs numbers, which are once a month, and we need to watch the corporate earnings. We don't want to be short-sighted. Remember, July is when the fourth stimulus would be called for a vote. July is when those congressional senators will make the determination to slide monthly stimulus checks in there. June is when the House members could slide those monthly stimulus checks in there. You don't want the economy fully rebounded. You don't want the Federal Reserve removing its in support of the economy. You don't want corporate earnings to be out of the ballpark, because all that signals concerns that stimulus may not get to the finish line. At the moment, we're not there. So thank you for joining me on a big afternoon's broadcast. In 2 hours from now, well, actually an hour and a half from now, Evenings LA, I'm going to give you the incredible details of what's in the fifth stimulus package. A lot of lifetime free benefits are going to be detailed in that fifth stimulus. What is it and how much do you get? I'll be going over all those details. But first, let's look back at tonight's programming schedule so you remember where we're going. I'm back with you in just a little bit as we go into Evenings LA at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 1 hour after that, we have the live coverage of the presidential address. And then LA Late Night, our humor-only broadcast, heats up. And with that, thank you for joining me on a big afternoon's LA broadcast. If you stay here when the video is over, it will teleport you to Evenings LA automatically. You don't have to do anything. It'll send you right to Evenings LA. So with that, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for bringing us to 395,000 subscribers today. Let's get to 400. Like this video. Every like really helps. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Members have access to the fifth stimulus package released this morning. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.